Hello friends, Molly Ponpadith here with the SOAR Community Network and the SOAR Community Nebula. We are interviewing 1,000 champions of change and change agents throughout the world this year. And today we bring you Miss Cyndi Shanahan. Cyndi, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Cyndi, the first thing that I would love for you to do is share with our viewers who you are. Introduce yourself, please, and the work that you're doing in the world.
Great, thank you. I'm Cyndi Shanahan, and I am a social change agent, a connector of philanthropic and non-philanthropic organizations. I do that through one of the major organizations I do that through is the Giving Circle of Hope.
Great. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Giving Circle of Hope and all the details around that. And first, I want to ask you to share perhaps an experience or a series of experiences, perhaps, that really showed you the power of empathy and love and compassion. Someone perhaps that really shifted your way of thinking or how you live your life today. Can you give an example?
Sure. Well, I am a real believer that every single day we are shifted in terms of our outlook, our compassion, and how we view life. And that's through very small things that happen to us as well as larger things. One of the major organizations, and as I said, is the Giving Circle of Hope. And one of the founders within the Giving Circle of Hope really took me under her wings and helped me understand what collective giving is about, what it's like to connect local nonprofits for the betterment of all the people in the community that are served by those nonprofits. And that individual really also empowered me to become a leader within the organization and a leader within our community. So she was very powerful for me, but as I said, I really do think that things shift every single day with every interaction that we have.
Great. Then let's share some ideas around what a community champion is or a change agent. When you think of a community builder and someone who's championing some type of change for the better in the world, what attributes or characteristics come to mind for you?
Well, I think first they have to have a passion about something in particular. And then they have to have kind of the backbone and the stamina to take that passion and move it forward and believe in it sufficiently to be able to explain it, to communicate it, to continue to believe in it. And then all of their skills, knowledge, and abilities can flourish through that interaction with others and the expression of what it is that they are championing.
That's great. So talking about skills and gifts and talents, how are you utilizing your skills, your gifts, your life lessons, everything that is for you to offer? How are you doing that for the betterment of your community and society?
Well, I think from a very, very young age, I realized that I was a nurturer. I was one of those kids that wrote about what do you want to be when you grow up, and it always ended up being something about nurturing. And even through my youth, I was quite, I volunteered quite regularly, and through that, developed a lot of relationships and connections with others in the community. And I think that's one of the gifts that I have is being able to connect one organization to another, one person to another, to be able to really amplify what each of those organizations and the individuals can do. So I feel like that is something that I've been able to nurture through the Giving Circle of Hope. So it is a collective giving group where members all collect smaller amounts of money and then are able to give larger grants to local community nonprofits. And through that, we've learned a lot about nonprofits in our local area. I'm in Northern Virginia. And in Northern Virginia, there are, as as there are in most communities, a lot of nonprofits. And they oftentimes don't have the bandwidth to connect with other nonprofits because they're so busy with their head down trying to do what they do, what their passion is all about. And they can't really raise their heads up so that they can see, that there are ways that they may be able to serve the community even better through interactions with other nonprofits. And that's what I think I bring to the table.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much for doing that and being a part of that.
Absolutely.
So, Cyndi, when you are feeling low or down or sad or just not motivated, is there a philosophy or a motto or a quote that really resonates with you to keep you going?
I read this question that you provided to us, and I am not a very big quote person.
Okay.
So I really feel like what I do in those instances is kind of pick myself up and realize that there's something else that I can personally be doing. So I, of course, went on the internet and I found a quote by Winston Churchill, which expresses kind of how I do that. So he says, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." And I find that it just takes a few more moments of giving for me to really get motivated again.
I love that so much. Could you read it one more time?
Sure. He says, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give."
That's great. That's so great. Okay, well, I have one more question. What does a better world look like through your eyes?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. It looks like a world where we interact with individuals and not stereotypes. It looks like a world where we're compassionate and we care about the people around us and we want to lift them up because we know by lifting them up, we're going to lift all of ours up. And so it's a compassionate, individual, caring community.
Beautifully stated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cyndi, for being a part of our Change Agent series with the goal of 1,000 this year. You know that it's incredible the amount of support that we're receiving or gaining from this. And to have you a part of it, I'm so grateful to Amy Dagliano, who introduced you. So a little shout out to her. And can you tell us how we can learn more about you, learn more about the causes that matter to you, please?
Sure. The Giving Circle of Hope has a Facebook page and a website, givingcircleofhope.org. And there's lots and lots of activities that are going on there. One of the ones that we're kind of proud of, our Giving Circle, which is a little bit different than some of the other Giving Circles, is that we not only give grants, but we also do some work for the community. And we host an Empty Bowls, which is it's a very basic dinner of soup and bread and cake. And that is all given to us by local restaurants. And then 100% of that money goes to Food for Others, which is the local distribution nonprofit for gathering food for all of the other food banks in the local area. So check that out. That's happening in April. I'm also a huge proponent of empowerment of women, and the organization that I work with most there is Women Giving Back. It's located in Sterling, Virginia, and the purpose of that organization is to give clothing to women and children who are in crisis at no cost. And so all the donations of clothing come from individuals like you and I and all of your listeners. And then we have a wonderful shopping boutique where people can come shop with us. So that you can learn about at womengivingback.org.
That is so great. You know, one of the most beautiful things about going on this journey to interview 1,000 change agents is to learn about all these great causes and initiatives that are out there that we aren't necessarily exposed to on a day-to-day. So thank you for letting me know about these opportunities and for also sharing that with our viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for your time today, Cyndi.
Thank you. I really appreciate the time.
My pleasure. Thanks for all that you do. For those that are watching, if you are interested in nominating someone in your life that's really making an impact, or if you would like to nominate yourself, please go to nebula.soar, S-O-A-R, communitynetwork.com. If you're interested in learning about how to become a member or a partner to Nebula, please visit us. We'd love to chat with you. We'd love to share more with you. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye, everyone.